What? Ruined what?
This thing for like 2 minutes, waiting to jump on the podcast.
My heart's beating, kind of a little bit.
I was the most exercise I got all
10
day.
seconds early. They were waiting off screen, and then they heard the intro.
Ruined what?
We didn't see you. The people just saw you in the chair. They didn't see you jump in.
Well, Barbara's the one who ruined it.
Well, that's because Blaine sat down first and I had to jump over him.
Oh, ladies first. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it was mostly to freak out them, not the audience.
For those who are not watching the video, we just tried to make it to the podcast with like 1 second.
Why were we crouching down?
I don't know.
We were. I
waiting
was gonna
to
take a
hop.
picture because we were like, landmarks.
What is fashionably late to you? Like an hour? Like say a party starts at 9,
I have
because
heard
that's
this
or like
if
8.
this party starts at 9, you should get there at
I taste
10:30 to
alcohol.
11.
It's dangerous.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a cultural thing because my parents or my dad is Middle Eastern, and there it's like you show up 2.5, 3 hours late. So I don't know if that's a thing, if everybody's like that or if it's just them. But it's like it's rude to show up on time.
Yeah.
If I had a party and it was like 9 p.m. and someone showed up, I'd still be setting up. I'd be like, "The fuck are you doing here?" And they would just be sitting on the couch while I'm doing other stuff because no one else would be there.
You know Bernie's like Game of Thrones nights?
Yeah.
All right, so like one time he texted me. It was like late Sunday when it was happening, and he's like, "Hey, Game of Thrones, come on over." I was like, "Cool." And the last time that there was a Game of Thrones night at Bernie's, it was like at 8. So then I showed up at 8.
I remember this. You
and
texted
I
me that night
show up,
too.
and Ashley's in like PJs, and no one's there. And I was like, "Hey, where is everybody?" She's like, "Well, you're an hour early." And I was like, "Fuck!" So then I immediately like went to a corner, started texting Barbara and
What, trying to
Brandon.
get someone else
Everyone was
there?
like, "Please God, I showed up early. Get
I
here."
really
want to
find this text right now.
It
You
was
guys
the
keep
most
talking.
embarrassing thing. And I just hung out with Ashley for like an hour, and then Bernie came back, and it was like still very early, and he's like, "Hey, help me unload my car from all the groceries." And
See, I never want to be the first person to anything. Like I don't want it to, especially if I'm expecting a party, I don't want a one-on-one conversation with like one person because you have to if you're early. So I'm worried about throwing a party of my own because there will be a time where there's just one other person and me.
Yeah.
Like I can't be fashionably late to my own party.
Well, no, you live with person now,
yeah,
though.
you'll be with Meg.
So you at least have one other person.
Yeah, but still, it's like just one extra person in the house. It's not really a
Try
party.
to get a surprise party though. Just be like, "Oh man, I never have surprise parties."
Just
keep
really
dropping
hint
that,
hard at
like
Meg.
incept people.
Why don't you just tell the people who you actually like a certain time, and then everyone else the time like an hour later? So the people you like will show up early.
That's a good call.
So you'll
Maybe,
tell me like
split
5, and
Yeah.
Barbara like 6. You know.
Thanks, Blaine. I found the text that Blaine sent me
What
that
is it?
night. It said, "Please God, come to Please God, come to Bernie's as soon as you can." I showed up like an hour early.
But luckily Ashley just gotten back from like E3 or something, so I was just like, "So let's talk about E3." We talked about it for like an hour.
You're lucky that Ashley is very easy to hang out with
She
one-on-one.
is-
Yeah.
yeah, she's very cool.
Otherwise, you'd be in trouble.
Last time we were out, and then I think like anytime I go out with Rooster Teeth people, I always like, "Hey, let's get in a bar fight." Like, I really want to get in a bar fight with
I've
people.
never once heard you say that.
I remember telling him we were walking down 6th Street. It was after the what was it? Hashtag unfiltered show with
with Hannah Hart.
no filter. Sorry.
Thank you, Ashley.
And I was like, let's go get in a bar fight.
And
You would win though. I can't get in a bar fight.
I was saying you should pick the fight, and I'll back you up. It'd be
Would you
fun.
win though? Because you haven't been tough your whole life, right?
I haven't been.
have you ever
No, have you?
actually hit someone?
I mean, I played Yeah, I played football.
No, I mean like
Oh no, I've never been in a fight.
Oh, what?
I think I would hold up.
You not been in a fight?
don't
No,
know. I don't-
it's not like you just instinctively can fight somebody.
have you ever got beat up?
I got beat up by a girl.
Oh God,
That's
please tell the
sexist
story.
How
So
old
when I
were
was
you?
in the 1st grade at elementary school, my mom was a teacher, so then I would be hanging out at the
So
jungle
your mom was a
gyms.
teacher and your dad was a coach.
Yeah, my sister is also a teacher.
Jesus.
Yeah, I come from a long line of educators, and I'm an idiot. So, so I'm hanging out after school because my mom's a teacher and she was like just doing teacher shit, and I'm hanging out on the playground after school, so it's just empty. So I thought, and this girl, she was in the 6th grade, and she had some kind of mental thing. Just started wailing on me.
For no reason.
Yeah, she was just beating my ass. I lost my footing, and she like slammed me down against the jungle gym, and she was just beating my head. And the only thing she was saying was, "Give it to me." I didn't know what it meant. She's like, "Give it to me. You give it to me." And I was just like, I didn't know what, and I was just getting my like ass kicked by this chick. And I was like,
did she want you to beat her up, or did you have something of hers?
Maybe she thought that you took something from her.
I think that's what it was. I really or she had saw like an interrogation scene from like a TV show the night before or something. But she was just kicking my ass, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, let me go get it. Let me go get it. I will go get it for you. And she's like, give it to me. And it's like, you just let me go.
I'm surprised you're that rational as a first grader.
I mustered up.
Did you get her something, or is she still waiting?
I fucking sprinted to my mom. I was like,
aren't you afraid?
I didn't say anything to my mom. I was like terrified and embarrassed. I was like,
were you bleeding or anything?
No, just probably like a little, the little diamond thing, the diamond shape that all the playgrounds are made of. I probably had like a pattern on my face.
You're gonna walk out of this building after this podcast, and you're gonna see her, and she's gonna be like, "You didn't bring her."
No. Yeah.
She's been tracking you this whole time.
Yeah.
So you were like 6 years old.
First grade is
six or 7.
I just imagine a 6-year-old just being like, "All right, calm down."
Yeah.
So she was 12.
I'll go get it for you. Let me just go get it for you.
So you think you could win in a fight if you got in a fight with somebody now,
I think
having
so.
never been in a fight before?
Yes, because all right, I don't know how much it accounts for, but I played football and I played on the offense and defensive line. So those guys are getting hit constantly. So I can take hits, and I am like, I can
take hits is not the same as
I'm tolerable to
different.
physical pain, but I'm also like I consider myself strong, so I think I can like land a couple of good ones. You guys have been saying it a couple of times, anal. You guys know what that means? Just checking.
Anal.
What?
Like anal, like, oh, she's really anal about it. You know the difference between anal retentive and anal excessive? Like
excessive.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, is it recessive? Yeah, well,
Retentive?
basically,
You
Freud
learned
had
this
this
on
thing that
LinkedIn,
when you were
Blaine.
kids...
Anal recessive is when I'm done pooing right before I wipe.
I think you mean retentive.
Retentive. Anal retentive and anal... No. What is it? Anal retentive and anal what? There's
anal,
two.
But anal?
Anal resentment?
Anal sex?
Basically, when you're a kid, you're either anal retentive or the other one. Anal retentive means you hold in your poo, and then the other one, I think it's anal excessive.
Attentive?
Attentive?
Anal attentive.
You shit yourself.
I attend
and then
to my anal
that
daily.
that basically makes you into the adult that you'll become, based on if you shit yourself.
Based off
Elaborate,
your
please.
anal usage.
Just look it up.
How
It's
does this,
Freud.
how does this happen?
I don't know. It flopped. I'm not even going to talk about it. Let's move on to different subjects because you guys don't know about Freud.
Bernie, you're drunk.
It was like a 5-minute conversation about pee before this podcast started.
Well, so basically, if you're like anal retentive, you like holding in the shit, and you like you
I
like that
thought we
feel.
were moving on.
And it's like, well, you just told me to go back to it, Brandon.
Did he?
Did he? Let's review the tapes.
Oh God.
no, all right, please.
How's you
Blaine.
guys this weekend? Let's move
So
something.
did we have
No,
to get final
just stop doing that. Stop saying we're gonna move on and then not moving on.
I want to explain it. but
Okay,
then-
explain.
So are you trying to say that you shit yourself? Is that what you're saying as a kid?
No, because I'm anal retentive, so I held my shit in. But if I was like lazy and just like go with the flow and don't care about times and stuff, then I would have been the other anal, and I would have just been shitting myself. I have a
So
friend.
you
who's-
said, wait, are you saying a kid or a baby?
Your baby, a
Yeah, but
baby.
I'm kind of like laid back, and I don't like not like precise about anything.
So
but
ask
I
your
don't
mom.
shit myself. Well,
You
actually, I
probably
did
shit yourself when you were a kid.
I did shit myself
Lots.
recently, actually.
That's what you do as a baby. That's why you have a diaper.
Well, no, but like, there's a point though where it's like you become one of those things, and you're just either shitting yourself constantly or you're holding it in.
I wonder
guess
how long we
that's
can go on
where
this conversation without learning
You're
anything.
either shitting yourself constantly or holding
We're gonna
it
get
in.
blown up by like all of this.
Maybe this is
science.
something your
gonna
mom
be a
just told you to make you
shitstorm.
feel better about shitting your bed all the time. Oh, Blaine, it's okay. You're anal retentive.
My dad's a football coach, so if he ever got mad like on the football field, he'd be like, "Shit the bed, Junior." That was like one of his curses, and the kids would be like, "What?
You know that's going to become your catchphrase now.
Shit the bed, Junior."
Ben Junior.
I was at yeah, I'm talking too much. Let's
you're
see.
not.
I'm gonna go to Twitter and see what they said.
About your
About the
anal
anal stuff.
retentiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Make sure
I,
he's on Twitter and not Tinder.
Barbara, what are your favorite types of anal?
Retentive? What's the
Safe
Or
answer.
resistant?
Attentive, what was the opposite
how,
one?
Anal. I'm looking. It's not
But-
expulsive. Anal expulsive.
That sounds like explosive.
Anal expulsive. Yeah.
You expel from your body.
This is what happens when mommy and daddy are not here.
So Barbara,
Yeah.
you've been known to, flick the bean all day and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever?
I don't know that yet
What do you mean?
because we haven't really
No,
said.
he asked me daily.
Oh, okay.
How many
your,
times you been jolf today?
your record was 11 times in a day, right?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever popped in a little cheeky finger?
Into my butt?
Yeah.
Nope. That is exit only.
Guys.
Exit only. I know
what
girls
would
have popped their little fingers into your little butt.
Gav, what would you do with that
Ex-girlfriends?
finger for the rest of the time? Like, you'd essentially, it would have to just be, you know, hanging in the wind because you can't use it anymore. It's essentially
Smells.
like, now it's like disqualified.
It's a good point. It's kind of tainted at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not the only guy that
Literally.
I'm not going into butt stuff. I've moved on from that. But like, you know,
We also missed the fact where Gavin has told us that he's had girlfriends that stuck their fingers in his butt
ooh.
as a test.
No, that's a big old nope for me.
It's 2 of them, right? 2 different girls.
That's a nope. I
I got trapped in the bungalow today,
what?
just outside the bungalow. You know how there's a back door?
Yeah.
So
Wait, there is?
I was
Oh, I
like,
didn't
Yeah,
know
there is. There's.
for some reason, I know that we're not actually there, but someone told me that we were going to be in one of the other bungalows for production on Laser Team. And that turned out to be not true. We're using a different building now. So I was like, oh, I want to check out this bungalow. So I like go out the back door and I'm on the porch area and I open the door and I'm like, oh, cool. I guess we're not using this. It's completely empty. And I close the door and I go back and the back door is locked.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way of getting back to the front from that area. So I like step down onto the ground area and I go like over pipes and stuff. And I realize that there's another patio blocking the way and I can't like, I'd have to crawl on the ground
No.
underneath to get out.
I know exactly what you're talking
Right?
about. You're just like, what is
Did
going
this happen
on?
to both of you?
Yes, no, because it's like,
was
I
out
don't
there
know
for
who
15
designed it or
minutes.
how they designed it, but it's like if you took like buildings that were supposed to be apart and then you crunch them together and you're just like, well, I don't know where this thing
And you
goes.
just put
Let's
walkways
put it
everywhere.
It's like someone
here.
who's really shitty at Tetris designed that area.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, fuck it.
and you're just like,
rectangle
I gotta climb a wall to get out of here.
So there's
Yeah.
gonna be a situation where people just start disappearing from work, and then we just find a bunch of skeletons over there between the two
Bungalow,
bungalows.
probably.
It's like a theme park simulator or whatever, where they're just like mauling around.
And I was gonna crawl under the walkway there to get out.
God,
But I would have to like go on my stomach and like crawl
Yeah.
like a turtle like that.
rats.
And I think I saw people walking, so I'm like, I don't want to do this because then
Could you go over the roof?
So what'd you do? Help!
guys? I just like kept walking around the back area, and eventually I found like a tiny little passageway
It's like
out.
a maze.
But it seriously took me 15 minutes to get out of there.
Done.
It's not as bad as you accidentally putting your mouth on Brandon's belly button, which we shouldn't talk about.
That
What
was
that's
so
from.
gross.
Oh.
and
But that
inappropriate.
happened. We won't say what happened.
Wait,
we were
what?
doing a screen test for things, and
felt-
at one point I was like, "What's that thing called when you go on someone's belly?" And
Raspberry.
yeah, and I didn't remember the name, so I just did it because I thought that would be better just to demonstrate. So I pulled Brandon's shirt up and I just went in and went,
Why don't you do it on your hand or something? It's the same noise.
lifted his
Yeah.
shirt up, and I just went.
It
And-
was
and-
really disgusting.
And
it
like
felt
I
really
didn't,
uncomfortable.
I didn't realize like it's just like it looks like a butthole, so it was just like this hairy hole. And then I went in, and like right before I went in, I saw something in the belly button, but I was like, my brain was like, no, you've
Oh.
already committed, gotta go. And I got
What?
in like deep, and I pulled up, and I had something on my beard.
It wasn't even being recorded.
What was in the belly button?
What was it?
It was lint.
After the fact, Brandon informed me, yeah, I haven't showered in like 3 days. I've been up here for
Bro!
It wasn't 3 days.
Oh, God.
It was like 2
You're on
days.
DVD Crunch.
Take a shower.
It was like 2.5
I was
days.
here. We don't have a shower here.
Yet.
Go home. Take a shower. Come back.
It's like an hour.
But I
and a
got
half
like
round trip.
just like a mouthful of Brandon's belly button, and he was just like, "You know what schmegma is? It's what I smegma
Dick cheese.
dick cheese. It was kind of like that, but like belly button version."
Have you ever pressed your pressure point like right here?
Yeah, I hate it.
It's like painful, but at the same time addicting.
Addictive.
That's weird.
Try it.
That's like choking yourself while you're jerking it. Oh, it's painful, but it feels so good. Not that I've tried. I have actually not tried. So
Is it meant to be
shut up.
painful? I thought it was meant to make you lightheaded.
I think
Choking
does it
yourself?
deprives you? Yeah.
People
autoerotic
die like that
asphyxiation.
though. Was it David Carradine?
Yeah.
The guy what was in that show he was in?
Kill
Kung
Bill?
Fu?
Oh,
It's a
He
dangerous
was
game.
also in Kill Bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he I guess they caught him with his pants down. That fucking sucks. I
Yeah,
bet a lot of those
in Singapore.
I bet a lot of those cases go unreported because the parents will, you know.
You know, a lot of people who get hanged have a boner when they die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why?
Just blood goes everywhere. It goes in their knobs.
Oh.
Makes sense. I hope I die with a big old boner. Yeah.
Just so it's harder to find a coffin for you.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, that wouldn't affect. You wouldn't get a what's that condition that settles in rigor mortis?
Rigor mortis.
That wouldn't apply to your penis though, because
It
it's
wouldn't?
not
I
bone.
think it does.
Damn.
Would it?
Well, it's not the bone
would
that
be-
makes you go stiff, is it? Like your bones are always stiff.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and like getting my first boner as a kid and not knowing what it was. Like, what'd you guys like? Wasn't that weird?
Dude, when I got my first boner,
I was like, man, my dick's huge.
I just remember like I think a bone just misplaced and now it's like jutting through.
No,
my
you didn't think
wee-wee.
that.
I swear to you, I thought that.
I've dislodged
How
the
old
bone.
were you?
I also my
That's
parents at one point I remember eating on the toilet because I'm weird and I was a kid. My mom told me like don't eat on the toilet, and it wasn't because of the germs. Like I just conjured up this idea as like maybe it's because it has something to do with like if I'm pooping while eating, then like the food will go straight through me. It's bad for my body. Like I was just weird. I never asked for explanations. I would just conjure up these
Do
explanations.
you worry
knows
about
what you're
getting
saying.
crumbs on your genitals?
Huh?
Like food crumbs?
like in general?
Isn't that gross? Dropping food on your knob.
Oh, no.
Well, like what kind of stuff are you eating on the bog?
It's probably like a sandwich or a hamburger, something easy. You know,
A
like a hand food.
hamburger?
It's like a hand food. Yeah, it's not that big. Don't get weird about it. It's not that big of a deal. We all do it.
Yeah, we're the weird ones.
I think the one place I haven't eaten food is on the toilet. That's the one place that's like a no-go.
It's not
I
that-
could see doing it if it was I had a fork and a plate.
But you're like,
Yeah, well,
you're
that's much
doing
better.
something gross.
To me, that's
good.
That's like,
not
like a
using
tray.
my
That-
hand.
that's
comes
like
over your
hold on. You
legs.
gotta like put one hand to hold both of them. And you wipe, and then you bring it back. You're like, all right, let's continue.
No, half of the enjoyment of food is in the smell.
Yeah, exactly.
You get like a waft of feces while you're having a
That's what
tuck
I'm
in.
saying.
Well, then what if you're
salad.
trying to eat healthy and you're like broccoli? You're just like, oh, maybe if I you
Yeah.
hide the healthy.
Oh.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I guess I'll.
Wait, is it off?